Siri, Baubona ba DA, they are just a problem. Helen Zille is a problem. John is fine. John Steenhuisen lives reality. He understands reality of South Africa. Helen Zille is still in that white supremacist mindset that only a white man can do it and a black person can't. Helen Zille is still in that mind of authoritativeness. We would agree with John in a meeting with AfriForum, Action, and other parties. But John will come back tomorrow with a different scenario.
In the tumultuous landscape of South African politics, narratives clash, allegiances shift, and perceptions are everything. Today, we delve into a particularly charged discussion, sparked by a simple yet potent statement: they are just a problem. This phrase, directed at Helen Zille, sets the stage for an examination of her enduring influence, the Democratic Alliance's internal dynamics, and the critical question of who truly lives reality in the complex tapestry of our nation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the channel. We are tackling a subject today that cuts right to the heart of South Africa's political future, the role of Helen Zille within the Democratic Alliance, and the shadow her perceived mindset casts over the party's relationship with black and colored voters. The starting point for our discussion is a blunt assessment: Helen Zille is a problem. In contrast, the sentiment expressed is that John is fine. John Steenhuisen lives reality. He understands the reality of South Africa. This immediate juxtaposition begs the question: what is this reality that John Steenhuisen supposedly grasps, and where does Helen Zille, in the eyes of some, diverge so fundamentally from it? The core of the critique against Helen Zille is searing. Helen Zille is still in that white supremacist mindset that only a white man can do it and a black person can't. This isn't just a casual observation, it's an indictment. It speaks to a deeply ingrained perception that, despite the DA's attempts to portray itself as a non-racial party, Zille's influence continues to perpetuate an old order of thought. This mindset of authoritativeness, as it's been described, suggests a belief system where solutions, leadership, and even fundamental understanding of South Africa's challenges are, consciously or unconsciously, filtered through a racial lens. How does this alleged mindset manifest, particularly within the DA itself? We need to look no further than the experiences of black and colored members within the party. If the perception holds that Zille believes only a white man can do it and a black person can't, then what message does this send to ambitious, capable black and colored politicians within the DA? Does it stifle their growth? Does it subtly undermine their authority? Does it create an environment where their contributions are viewed through a lens of skepticism, rather than genuine empowerment? We've heard whispers, and sometimes outright statements, of black and colored members feeling marginalized, overlooked, or even tokenized within the DA's structures. This isn't just about policy, it's about dignity, recognition, and the fundamental right to ascend based on merit, not race. If the most influential figure within the party is perceived to hold such views, it can create a chilling effect, leading to disillusionment and, ultimately, exodus. Beyond the internal party dynamics, there's another crucial aspect to this discussion: Helen Zille's sentiments regarding black people being in Cape Town. While specific direct quotes are often debated and open to interpretation, the prevailing perception, especially among many black South Africans, is that Zille has at times expressed views that suggest a certain discomfort or even disapproval of the demographic shifts occurring in the Western Cape, particularly the influx of black residents. This perception, whether entirely accurate in its granular detail or not, has a profound impact. Cape Town, often lauded for its beauty, also grapples with a history of spatial apartheid and ongoing inequalities. For many black South Africans, the desire to move to Cape Town is driven by economic opportunity, better access to services, or simply the pursuit of a better life, rights afforded to every citizen. If a prominent political figure, particularly one who has held significant power in the region, is seen to express sentiments that are anything less than welcoming to this demographic shift, it breeds resentment and reinforces the idea that certain spaces are still inherently white or reserved. This sentiment, however subtle, can fuel the narrative that the DA, under Zille's enduring influence, is not truly committed to the integration and upliftment of all South Africans. So, what does this perception give black people of the DA? It paints a picture of a party that, despite its stated commitment to non-racialism, struggles to shed the remnants of its past or the influence of figures perceived to be anchored in it. It fosters a sense of distrust. It creates a narrative that the DA might be a party for some South Africans, but not truly of all South Africans. This is a critical distinction in a country still grappling with the legacies of apartheid. And this perception has real, tangible consequences. The political landscape in South Africa is more dynamic and competitive than ever before. For years, the DA positioned itself as the primary opposition, the logical alternative to the ANC. However, the rise of parties like the Patriotic Alliance, and indeed others that are actively campaigning on platforms of inclusivity and addressing the lived realities of marginalized communities, poses a significant threat to the DA's electoral ambitions. The Patriotic Alliance, for example, has made significant inroads, particularly in colored communities, by speaking directly to their concerns and often adopting a more assertive, identity-driven approach. They are not shy about highlighting historical grievances and promising tangible improvements for specific communities. In contrast, if the DA is seen as a party where internal racial dynamics are problematic, or where a prominent figure holds sentiments that are viewed as racially insensitive, they will struggle to compete in these crucial electoral battles. The notion that John will come back tomorrow with a different scenario after a meeting with AfriForum and other parties suggests a certain adaptability, perhaps even a pragmatism on Steenhuisen's part. But this adaptability can only go so far if the underlying perception of the party, shaped by figures like Helen Zille, remains one of a subtle, or not so subtle, racial bias. Voters, especially those who have historically been marginalized, are astute. They are looking for genuine representation, not just platitudes. In conclusion, the issue of Helen Zille's perceived mindset within the DA is not merely an internal party squabble. It's a critical factor influencing how the party is viewed by a significant portion of the South African electorate. In a political environment where inclusivity is paramount, and where new, more overtly inclusive parties are gaining traction, the DA faces a crucial challenge. Can it truly shed the perceptions that some of its most influential figures are perpetuating? Or will it continue to be hampered by the shadow of a past that many South Africans are desperately trying to move beyond? The answer to that question will undoubtedly shape the future of South African politics for years to come.